The AI industry is rapidly abandoning the brute force scaling of massive compute clusters in favor of algorithmic efficiency and commoditized agent infrastructure. This transition is defined by three pillars: the collapse of the memory hardware wall, the rise of machine-first software ecosystems, and the aggressive geopolitical fracturing of global AI deployment. For enterprise leaders, the reliance on massive compute is weakening as software efficiency lowers the hardware floor for deployment. However, navigating the resulting technical and regulatory landscape is now more complex. Global memory chip manufacturers recently lost billions in market value in a single week. The sell-off was triggered by Google's release of TurboQuant, a new vector compression algorithm. This chart shows how TurboQuant compresses the key value cache vectors used in large language models. The result is an 83% reduction in memory overhead and an 8x increase in processing speed. At the hardware edge, Tufts University introduced a hybrid neurosymbolic architecture that combines statistical probability with symbolic logic. In physical robotics testing, it cut total power consumption by a factor of 100. Because of these efficiency gains, massive multi-GPU cloud clusters are no longer a prerequisite for performance. Enterprise-grade AI can now run on single GPU local servers and edge devices. Foundational AI models are now priced like basic utilities. OpenAI's GPT 5.4 Nano dropped input costs to 20 cents per million tokens, making it viable to deploy massive swarms of AI agents. This low-cost intelligence is forcing a redesign of software infrastructure. Tencent recently open-sourced the command line interface for WeChat, specifically built so AI agents can bypass human graphical interfaces and execute tasks natively. On the front end, the open-source pretext engine completely bypasses the traditional browser document object model. By utilizing low-level canvas rendering, it generates dynamic, AI-driven interfaces up to 1,242 times faster on Safari. These tools suggest a transition toward agentic-first architecture, where developers prioritize machine-to-machine APIs and dynamic rendering over static human user experiences. The macro environment is fracturing along geopolitical lines. France's Mistral AI recently raised $830 million in debt to build sovereign European data centers. They chose debt over equity, specifically to defend against U.S. venture capital control, ensuring their physical infrastructure strictly complies with Europe's rigid data sovereignty laws. In contrast, the United States is accelerating a federal preemption framework. The White House intends to overwrite patchwork state laws with a unified, commercial, and light-touch regulatory environment. Multinational companies must now navigate a bifurcated ecosystem, deploying rapidly under pro-business rules in the U.S., while building strictly compliant, localized tech stacks to operate in Europe. For enterprise leaders, the infrastructure playbook has shifted. Stop over-budgeting for massive compute, prioritize localized single GPU deployments, and transition internal software to CLI-first designs optimized for AI agents. On risk management, legal and operational teams must prepare for a permanently fractured global market, divided between rapid U.S. innovation and strict European data sovereignty.